So over the weekend, we got our first trailer / maybe it was a teaser, I don't remember, first look at the new Dexter show, Dexter Resurrection. And to be honest, candidly, like, whenever Dexter Resurrection was announced, I was excited, but also kind of like, I don't know how much of a good idea this is. Even if, I'm gonna get through my opinions on the trailer here in a second, but regardless, no matter what, one thing that is a fact is that this is a cash grab. They saw how successful Dexter New Blood was, regardless of the reviews or not, and they're just, that's the reason why Dexter Original Sin happened, and that's the reason why Dexter Resurrection is happening. The overwhelming success of Dexter New Blood is the reason why Dexter Resurrection is happening, and it's also the reason why Dexter New Blood ended up happening. Also, on top of that, they need something to try and get the Showtime thing to actually stay off the ground and not dead forever. So, it seems like they have found out that Dexter can not only still carry a show, it's also like the best thing that they can put out right now. So they're going to continue to push this. So I was extremely excited for Dexter New Blood when it originally came out a few years ago. I was a big fan of the original Dexter show, but like most of the fan base, I hate the later seasons. I thought season 7's okay. I think season... No, wait. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think season 7 is okay. Season 8 is just an absolute dumpster fire. And then Dexter New Blood, I thought was pretty good, but had a not great ending. And then because Dexter New Blood was supposed to be just the end of Dexter, it was. I think they did have good intentions with Dexter New Blood. I think they were coming back to fix the ending, make a couple dollars along the way, but then they were like, oh my god, we made actually a lot more money than we thought, so let's just go ahead and bring back Dexter, period. And then a few years later, they announced Dexter Original Sin, and they also announced that Michael C. Hall is going to be coming back for Dexter Resurrection. Dexter Original Sin was about Dexter as a young man, first starting his job at Miami Metro, first coming into his own as a serial killer. They recasted a lot of the characters, by the way, and also Dexter Original Sin ended up, shockingly, I had no faith in the show, being actually really good, and actually really good because it was casted brilliantly. The guy who plays Dexter as a young Dexter, I am like always on the fence about doing like the prequels and then casting the iconic characters played by iconic actors. But I don't know his name, I apologize, but the guy who played young Dexter, spot on. Did a fantastic job. And it would not surprise me if they continue moving on with Dexter Original Sin. That's kind of like what I figured that they were going to do, would just be like, all right, we're gonna bring back Dexter, we're gonna do Original Sin, and we're just gonna keep retconning the early years of the show. Goddamn dog hair. I'm under attack. They were just going to retcon the original ending of the show, or the original, like, kind of start of the show, and kind of be spotty there, because it was actually a really, really good show. But then they announced that Dexter Resurrection was also happening. At the beginning of Dexter New Blood, they showed that Dexter survived the shot from Harrison in the woods, and they were like, Michael C. Hall is coming back. It's going to be a direct continuation of Dexter New Blood. Here you go. And we got our first trailer for it. Now, on the outside looking in, when it comes to Dexter Resurrection, I was like, okay, so they're going to try and make a show to fix the ending of the show that tried to fix the ending of the original show. But then I watched the trailer, and I took a step back after watching it, and I was like, they're going to, like, do this for a while. They're going to keep this thing around. Like, Dexter New Blood's full intention was to do one season and one season only. Dexter Resurrection, I actually think they're going to try and make a thing. They're going to keep this around for a while. I'll get into it in a little bit. But, like, getting into my thoughts on the trailer, It starts off with Dexter waking up in the hospital, and Angel Batista walking in. Dexter is alive from the gunshot wound. They saved him. Immediately when I was watching the trailer, I was looking at Dexter's hands to see if he was cuffed to the bed, which he wasn't, meaning that the police don't believe that he is the Bay Harbor Butcher, which is insane to me because he killed the wrestling coach at the end of the episode, so you would think cat's out of the bag at that point. Which, I have a theory now that Dexter was not handcuffed because the police might believe that the Bay Harbor Butcher theory never got out, which means that the girlfriend never said anything about Dexter being the Bay Harbor Butcher to either protect Harrison, or something along those lines. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, it doesn't seem like Dexter is like a wanted criminal. So that's interesting enough. And then Angel walks into the hospital and they have their little reunion. I'm sure this will be a lot more fleshed out in the show. It's very interesting how they showed this in the trailer. A lot of the people who were upset about Dexter New Blood, they were upset that we never actually got that interaction between the two characters, which is kind of crazy that never happened. My expectation completely of Dexter New Blood or Dexter Resurrection was that this is going to be what I expected, like a season 2 of Dexter New Blood to be. Dexter on the run and Angel Batista chasing down after Dexter as the Bay Harbor Butcher. But they have pivoted in such a direction where that's not going to happen just yet, and I don't think it's going to happen for a while because I think that Dexter is here to stay for the foreseeable future, because after the little clip that they showed at the beginning of the trailer of their interaction, Dexter jumps out of a window, gets into a random car, and just drives straight to New York City and goes, hey, I'm starting a new life. Nobody knows who I am. So that's insane. A lot of the trailer is focused on Dexter being found in New York City and being like recruited into this serial killer group of Avengers. And at first you're like, this is like not okay at all. But then you kind of go through the trailer, you see like hints of Harrison and hints of Angel. I don't believe I can't remember the girlfriend's name from New Blood, the cop. She never shows up. I think I may have just named her a few seconds ago, but I can't. Was it Angela? I don't know. Oh, man. Oh, no. It's late. I'm sorry. But yeah, you get a few scenes of Harrison. It seems like he kills somebody. You get a few scenes of Dexter killing people. And Dexter's like genuinely happy in New York City. I like that the new theme or the new city is going to be New York City. I'd imagine that you're going to find out that Dexter jumped out of the window, to get away to Angel and get to a new life, but also probably heading straight to New York City because he figured where Harrison would go. And my guess is that he goes to New York City looking for Harrison, and also to start a new life. And when I first watched this trailer, I was like, I have no idea how I feel about this. I don't know if I like it. This is like odd to me. But then I actually thought about it. And I actually sat there for a second, and I felt something that was different than what I felt with New Blood, is that this actually felt like Dexter. And in New Blood, a lot of people trash on Dexter New Blood for not feeling like Dexter, and that was because of the setting and the changes and trying to be involved. I actually kind of like the direction that they went with New Blood, where they put him in a cold environment, and they just made it a little, they kind of evolved it. Dexter's New Blood issue was in the execution of the storytelling, and the writing for poor Harrison's character. But Dexter Resurrection feels like Dexter. The monologues are there. Harrison is there, or Harry is there. Ghost Harry's there. The inner monologue goes absolutely insane. The original music's there. Kind of that neon light look of New York City is something similar to Miami. And the introduction of the storyline, putting Dexter in this kind of league of super serial killers and legendary serial killers, is a new idea, and on theory is extremely corny and odd, but is actually semi-clever when you look at it from the perspective of, this is a way for them to continue on the story and reviving Dexter long term, because it's instant way to bring in a bunch of interesting characters all at once. And they're all serial killers in New York City. And in maybe that could work in theory. And when you look at all that, and it's like new, and it's like on an execution level could fail tremendously. Like, this has all the potential in the world to fail tremendously. But if they pull it off, you could have like a really fun Dexter story and a really interesting way to like revive the series, which is something that I did not expect them to go for. That makes all the sense in the world because of how profitable Dexter is, and it seems like Michael C. Hall is okay with playing Dexter again, consistently, considering he did New Blood and now he's doing Resurrection, and he voiced a lot of Original Sin, and my guess is they somehow convinced him to do Dexter for multiple seasons. I would actually be shocked if Resurrection ends after one season. But it feels like Dexter, and to me it feels like the start of a whole new thing. Like a 3 to 4 season long thing. Like that, I think that's what this is going to turn into. I don't know if that is such a, I don't know if that's a bad idea, because it's like a fool me once, fool me twice type of thing. But when you like have something you have something so as beloved as Dexter that was so good and hasn't been that good in a long time, in all fairness, but has hints of stuff that's really good. I think you just love the character, and you love the idea of the show and the concept. But even though Dexter hasn't really hit kind of the same level of quality that it did in the earlier parts of the show, which a lot of long-running TV shows do that, what I will say is that this teaser/trailer was the first time that Dexter kind of felt like Dexter since a long time. And it was just a 2-minute clip, and maybe I'm kind of overblowing and oversaturating, and we could watch it, and it has all the potential of the world to be absolutely terrible. But I will watch it because I'm incredibly interested in it, and I kind of was like, I didn't know what to think about it in the beginning. Whenever it was originally announced, I was like, I mean, okay, cool. And then I watched the trailer, and I was like, I still don't know what to think, and now I kind of have had time to think on it for the last couple days, and like, this feels like Dexter. So yeah, I guess we'll check it out. Maybe we'll review it. Maybe we'll do a reaction of it. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Reviews and Reactions. Be sure to check out the page at www.foreverunlikely.com. Subscribe and like this comment, or like this page. I keep saying like this comment a lot. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, love, adios, and bye-bye.